Hey guys, this is Miri here. I'm going to be bringing you a guide to Halls of Origination from beta. This is what happens when you run out of things to do on live, and on beta you start making guides. I'll be doing this from the point of view of a Prot warrior, so you'll be able to see what it's like to tank one of the new instances and how to handle the trash mobs and manage CC, manage your cooldowns, and deal with the incoming damage that you'll be taking when you hit level 85 in leveling gear. As most of you probably heard, CC is probably going to be needed. I'm not using a whole lot of CC here, as my group is composed of myself, a rogue, a death knight, a shadow priest, and a holy priest healing. It doesn't give us a lot of options for CC, but once you know what you're doing in these instances, you can just plow through them. I do use kiting a lot though. It's pretty useful when you have a DK with desecration. You just watch your health, and if you see the healer not keeping up, then you start kiting. Now, as you see, we've already started here. We're clearing the right side. There's two packs, one to the left, one to the right. You only have to clear one. Clearing the one to the right is much quicker, as it's in the direction you need to go anyway. This is the second pull of the instance. I skipped the first one because I'm bad and didn't turn on my fraps. There's only 3 pulls before the first boss. This coming up here is the third pull. There is a Runecaster and a Shadow Lancer. The Shadow Lancer will pulse the Shadow AoE. You want to stop him from casting it, and the Runecaster is going to put a circle on the ground that'll heal him. I'm pretty bad in this recording of pulling the mobs out of the circles, but it's easily DPS'd through. And then we will be coming up on the first boss. The first boss himself has 2 abilities. He has the ability to shoot these little blue flames on the ground. You want to get out of that. It'll come from the statues on the sides. And then he'll do a second ability where he'll put on a shield at 66%, I believe, and 33%. Once the shield is up, he can't take any damage, and he will start doing an AoE. The AoE cannot be interrupted until you take the shield down. In order to take the shield down, a player must jump down on either side of the platform that you're tanking them on into the snake pits below and hit a switch. The quicker you deactivate a shield, the better, so the tank can interrupt it. However, the DPS that jump down will take fall damage, and they will aggro the snakes. Ideally, I would have told these 2 priests to life grip our DPS back up, so then I can tank the snakes easy. But instead, I wait for the shield to break here, and then I will be S-keying back to pick the snakes up off of them. I don't want to face my back to this boss because I'm afraid of getting hit too hard because of the damage and the healer running out of mana. And as soon as I get up the platform here, I will be pulling all the snakes off of the 2 guys that jump down. A neat trick with tanking in beta so far is, as a warrior, your victory rush heals you for a lot. Because of the gearing and the way heals have scaled so far, my victory rush heals me for about 25% of my hit points, which right now, since my hit points are at 100k, equates to 25,000 heal. So if I can get a kill on anything while doing bosses or trash, I'll go for the kill with a shield slam, so I can use victory rush to heal myself when I need to. It gives me a 15-second window of using that heal whenever necessary. Here I noticed one of my DPS jumped off to the wrong side, and no one was hitting that switch on that side, so I was forced to jump down myself and hit it. I figured it would be better than to wait, because the AoE does more and more damage the longer you let him do it. And then using heroic leap here to get back in position, and using shield wall just in case I'm taking too much damage and the healer's out of line of sight, and then going back to tanking the boss for the DPS. It's a pretty easy fight. It's the easiest one in here. It's not a lot you need to worry about as long as people know to hit the switches. One of the downsides of doing pugs on beta is that party chat is broken right now. If party chat works, you can only talk to people who are from the same server as you. On occasion, say chat will work, and when it does, people will use say chat instead. But otherwise, you have a lot of trouble communicating with the other people in your party. Anyway, once you kill this boss, this neat little bridge comes down, and you start heading on to the next boss. There isn't a whole lot of trash in these dungeons, which is kind of nice. Blizzard learned that people don't like doing trash. And like I said before, a lot of people have been using CC. It isn't that CC is necessary so much, I don't feel. It's that AoE is so toned down now. It hasn't kept up with your single target damage abilities. So it's so ineffective that it's better to just CC in most parts. You'll notice these guys in my group using Blade Flurry and such, and it barely doing any damage to the second target despite them using AoE. There's another healing rune on the ground. I should be moving the mob out of it, but I'm pretty bad at this game, so it's a little bit delayed. Right now, as a Prot warrior tanking, Shield Slam is pretty much your bread and butter. The changes they used to Heroic Strike, it's almost better to not use it, to keep your if you've been keeping up with the beta changes, you get Inner Rage, I think it's called. Anytime you hit 100 rage, it increases the damage of your abilities until you get below 30% rage. It also doubles the cost of your abilities. Using Heroic Strike as a rage dump will quickly cancel this effect. I find it better to just keep the effect up for Shield Slam and Revenge, so you get monster Shield Slam crits because of Vengeance. Vengeance is a talent, or rather an ability, that anytime you take damage, your attack power increases. So the longer you tank stuff, the more damage you do, and that coupled with the way Shield Slam is scaling right now, it's just better to just spam Shield Slam for threat and not use Heroic Strike anymore. Revenge is also good, but nothing is coming anywhere close to the amount of damage Shield Slam is doing. These trash packs are a bit of a pain in the ass, by the way. The mobs aren't targetable initially, they pop out of the ground. There's a couple of non-elites in these packs, but you don't need to worry about the non-elites. There's going to be one elite in the first group, and then 2 elites in the next 2 groups. Just make sure you pick those up. The bugs will try to cast a blind ability. It's interruptible. You'll probably want to interrupt it just to make sure it's not landing on your healer at all. This group will have a caster. I'm pretty lazy when it comes to tanking a caster. Rather than building threat on them, I'll just rely on Spell Reflect. Because of talents in beta, Spell Reflect has a 7-second cooldown, making it a lot more effective as a Prot warrior, as a defensive cooldown. So I tend to stick to that a lot. You'll be seeing me use Spell Reflect a whole lot more later on when the mobs start hitting a lot harder, but for now these trash mobs are pretty easy. You'll notice when we got to a fork earlier and I took the right path, you can go right or left there, but I find it easier, the right boss is a lot easier, so tend to go this way first. Plus you'll get to see the cool camels coming up. Everybody loves camels. They're kind of bugged right now, so to speak. You'll see what I mean in a second. But they do some nice DPS. I don't know if they're working as intended at all, but they add to your damage. Melee camels. That's about all they do. You could mount up this ramp, but being too cool to mount up right now. Gonna charge this guy, and you'll see abuse of Spell Reflect right here. Rather than tank that caster over there at all, and just keep Spell Reflecting shit back at him. The rogue here in my group seems pretty good. He's been tricksing me, so for some reason I do not think this animation is working as intended, as I am several feet above the camel hovering and the camel has no movement animation. However, it's rather amusing, so I'm not gonna complain or bug report it, and I doubt anybody else has bug reported it either, because they all want to keep the camel animation the way it is. I'm going to skip ahead here though, because there is going to be a wipe, and I'd rather not display that. This accidental pull here